Well, good evening. This is N4LQ calling CQ, the old friends net. The N4LQ Steve and Shelby. The net is an AM Amplitude Modulation only net, and we meet here every Sunday at 6 p.m. and every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and every Thursday at 9 a.m. on this frequency. It's a good place to buy, sell, swap, or trade vintage equipment and talk about the old days and the good old rigs. The net operates in the round table fashion, so we'll make a list and see what we got. This is N4LQ, listening for check-ins.
WB4ARK.
WB4NKL.
WB4NKM.
Anybody else want to check in?
It's November 4 Alpha Kilo N4 AK.
I think you're about the loudest one here, Glenn. Here's what I got so far. WA4LLR, and then WB4ARK, and WF2U, and WB4NKL, and WB4NKM, and N4AK. Do we have any more check-ins? Well, that's kind of a short list. Well, it's really sunny and clear here in Shelby, and the temperature is 73 degrees. Just Garden of Eden-like here. Got out and took a nice walk this afternoon and wore out the rubber tip on my walking stick, so I've been looking on Amazon for one of the right size, and there's too many to choose from. Anyhow, we're live streaming on the Sun SDR here this afternoon or this evening, and running a little bit of power, about 250 watts, and I guess I can crank that up a little bit. Signals aren't real strong, but I am copying everybody okay, and I think things will get better as time goes on. So let's go ahead and start the round table. One more time down the list real quick. LLR to ARK, F2U, NKL, NKM, and AK. And before we start, anybody else want to check in? All right, Dave, take it away. WA4LLR, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ. And the old friends, WA4LLR. All right, Steve. Yeah, signals are not rock crushing, but I am copying everybody. And I'm only running 100 watts on the ART-13 and receiving on the R390A. 67 degrees up here. We just had a pretty hefty rainstorm go through. Well, last night we had it. We got 2 inches of rain in 2 hours, and my driveway paid the price. Most of my gravel's at the foot of the mountain, I think. So It's kind of like driving over the Grand Canyon to get in and out, but hopefully if we get any sunlight tomorrow, maybe my son can get his tractor out and see if we can do a little recovery work. And so far today we've had about 0.4 of an inch. Fortunately, I'm not seeing any electrical activity in the storm. And good to hear everybody. Hopefully it will pick up. And Cliff, glad to hear you back from the Midwest. And hope you had a great trip to up there to see Dan and Fair Radio and Xenia. Down to you, buddy. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Well, when you first came on, Dave, I wasn't copying you too well, but your signal came up considerably when you started to transmit this go-around. And the ART13 is doing a good job. I'm using mine today, R390A. And I'm not copying WB4 NKM or MIR WF2U. I'm not copying either one of those. But I did copy a WB4 NKL just barely. So I guess the band conditions have got a lot of improvement to go. And Steve, your signal is way down today also, really quite considerably off from your normal signal level. So we'll turn it over to Mir and see how he copies. WF2U, WB4ARK.
Roger, WB4ARK. And the next, this is WF2U. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I can copy everybody, actually. Signals are not great, but definitely copyable. And I haven't been on here for several weeks. I had an electrical problem in the entry box to my shack, which is a separate building. One of the legs of the 240 line became loose and started to sputter. And in the beginning, I thought it was my AL1200 amplifier that was going. Then I noticed that one phase is not working here, anything that is connected to one phase. So, anyway, so I fixed it. Somehow the screw holding it to the main circuit breaker was loose. Well, after 20 years, maybe the wire was compressed enough. I'm using the GRC19 setup today. 100 watt exactly output carrier. It's full plated, screen modulated column system. Auto tune. And the antenna is my usual 80-meter antenna that resonates here. And besides the T195 in the system, the system receiver for the GRC19, which is the R392. So that it goes to this WB4 NKL in the group. This is WF2U.
WF2U, WB4 NKL. Okay, Mir. I'm running the command set here today, about 65 watts a carrier. Had a good time on the trip up to Xenia and Fair Radio, and visited Dan W4CDJ. And we had a little rain there Friday morning, up to about 11 o'clock, but the rest of the weather was excellent at the Hamfest. And my spot's not down in the racetrack, so we didn't have to deal with any mud, and good trip. I think the crowd was up this year, seemed like, and I heard a figure of 35,000 there at one time. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I picked up a little Stancor 10P. It's a kit radio from the, I guess the 40s maybe, early radio, so pretty simple little rig. I might try to get that on the air one day for the net. And let's see, we picked up a Collins 32S3 from Ron. It's sort of a project set. Ron Beaver had it. And an ICOM R71A. I think that was all my big purchases, plus a lot of parts. And so about everything I took. So good Hamfest. I was copying everybody. I hope everybody's or most everybody's copying me. I'll send it on to Larry, WB4NKM. It's WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff, WB4NKL from WB4NKM. We're fine. Copying everybody up here in Virginia today. Good evening to all of the ones that checked in. I had a little trouble with Mir, but Mir came up to S9. The rest of the signals are QSB and over S9, so maybe it'll pick up here after a while. 78 degrees here. We've got a heat wave going. Beautiful day, sunny. It's drying the ground out, getting ready for me to mow tomorrow. So we're running the Johnson Ranger, listening on the Hamilton HQ170, driving a Maritron 811 amplifier with about 150 watts out to the end-fed hype wave. So down to you, Glenn. It sounds like the band dropped out. It was good when we talked earlier. You were 40 over, but it's up and down. N4AK, if you copy, WB4NKM.
Okay, Larry, WB4NKM, Wise, Virginia, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
You know the band's changed. I'm running a DX100 this afternoon, about 100 watts, HQ180A receiver and a G5 RV antenna. So temperature down here in Sunset is 76 degrees, a little bit cloudy. There's thunderstorms kind of on both sides, albeit it looks like there's a thunderstorm, looked like it was over Hendersonville, so I guess Charlie chickened out, and maybe they'll pass on this afternoon. My Johnson 500's on the fret, and from time to time Steve has given me some ideas on what to check. So far, no luck. But I hadn't put that relay in yet, Steve. I'm still checking. I may have a problem with the power supply somewhere, so that makes sense for what I was problem. But on a Johnson 500, there's a couple of relays that got activated. Everything goes through about 6 or 8 contacts, so anything will happen. So, Steve, to you, N4LQ, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
All right, real good. N4AK, N4LQ. Do we have any more check-ins? Give me a call.
KJ4YEV.
All right, Al. KJ4YEV, N4LQ. Good evening to you. Why don't you go ahead and make a transmission and just turn it back to me? And how's things in Gastonia? KJ4YEV, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, KJ4YEV. Well, this is very bad signals today. When I first tuned into the net, I was hearing you slightly, and I heard Buddy pretty good. That was all the people I could hear, but it has come up a little bit. So maybe conditions are getting better, but I dare say a lot of these guys that are on the net probably can't hear me with my little speaker really good. So I'll talk about you, Steve.
Roger, Roger, okay. N4LQ. I missed the net on Thursday because I think I sent an email out, but had some appointments, an MRI and a blood test, and I could have checked in, but I was really stuffed up with a cold, and I was popping zinc and vitamin C, and that got me under control so I could get the MRI without raising too much alarm. I figured if I moved the wrong way or talked, I would start coughing, and either I would mess up the MRI or they would throw me out. But it went okay, and I found out, and Glenn, you could probably fill us in on this, that there's a big difference in MRI machines, and they measure their strength in Teslas. And the one that I went to in Kings Mountain must have been a low resolution machine, and the one in Shelby is much higher resolution. It's much bigger inside and looks newer, and I didn't get the complaints from the X-ray technicians who read the thing. They read the one in Kings Mountain. They said due to low resolution, it was difficult to ascertain what was going on. So that is a factor, and I think if I have another one, I am going to make sure that it's a high resolution machine. Let's see, the photographs I've seen from Nick, K4, I don't know, N4, I can't remember his call, Navy Nick. They really look good. Brian sent those out, and that's the only ones I've seen that I like. The videos on YouTube are not too good. I watched some of those, and some of those big name guys walking around with some kind of camera, and they were just bouncing down the aisles, and every now and then you see a glimpse of some piece of equipment, or it was just kind of a waste of time. So, and then they would get partially done and the batteries would run down. But individual pictures, boy, that's the way to go on Hamfest, and I appreciate those. And Mir, you're making it up here okay. Glad you got your power problem fixed, and the GRC-19 is doing good. And glad you're back, Cliff, and fine business on the on visiting W4CDJ. I guess you were at his house, and yeah, I saw the mud. They had some rain there, I guess, on Friday, and maybe before that, and typical parts of that are pretty muddy, and I don't know why they can't figure out a way to fix that. Some gravel or something might help. It's been that way for a while, and I know when they first started having the Hamfest there, it was really a bad situation. People were getting stuck and all kinds of things. But 35,000 people, 35,000 hams. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah, hang on here. I've got a little problem here. I'm going to go ahead and start it around again. WA4LLR, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WA4LLR. Well, I hope you get the technical issues ironed out there, Steve. And I agree with you. Most of those YouTubers that do the video as they're walking around don't spend enough time for you to see anything. It's mainly just walking. But I do appreciate folks like Nick England and others that take the time to make the still shots and publish them. Buddy, sounds like we're running the same gear today, ART-13, R390A in both stations. And you're sounding good up here into the eastern jungles of Yancey County. Mir, sorry you're having those electric box problems. Hope you get all that ironed out. Cliff, fine business on the stand core and the R71, I believe you said, and then a Collins that was a project. Glad you had fun. Didn't say if you picked, I don't think you said if you picked anything up at Fair Radio or not. And Larry, sunny day. Well, that's good for you, brother. And I hope it stays in there so that we can really get big. It's been so wet here that haven't had the opportunity this week to cut any of it down. Glenn, the DX100 sounds wonderful. You're one of the strongest signals on the band here. The band took an upswing there on that round. And Al, you're sounding good. Your DX60 is doing a great job. Since Sunspot Group 3644 rotated behind the limb of the sun, things have been a little quieter. We've had some M-class flares, a few C's, but nothing like what we've been having. So our current conditions, the sunspot count is 166, solar flux index is 194, and the K is 2.33. Just a few items from this day in history. On this day in 1884, Ringling Brothers Circus was formed. On this day in 1994, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis passed away at age 64. On this day in 1890, Ho Chi Minh, founder of the Indochina Communist Party, was born in Vietnam. On this day in 1845, John Franklin's ill-fated expedition to find the Northwest Passage began, and both of his ships got later trapped in ice and the crew perished. Let's see, what else? And on this day in 1536, Anne Boleyn, second wife of Henry VIII, was found guilty of adultery and was beheaded. So there you go. On down to you, buddy. WB4ARK, WA4LL.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay, Dave. Well, had a pretty good copy on most everybody except Glenn. I mean, Mir. Glenn's signal was fine. Glenn, I thought you had that Johnson fixed. I thought that relay you were looking for was going to take care of the problem, but obviously it didn't. Well, we've had a pretty clear day today. It's fairly clear out there right now. There's been some clouds floating around, cumulus, but not much to speak of in the way of thunder or lightning producing cloud cover. And so we been doing a little bit of work on the car, and that's been about it for earlier today. So with that, we'll send it over to Mir, WF2U, WB4ARK.
Roger, WB4ARK in the net. This is WF2U. Yeah, I have a good copy on everybody with some QSB. The average, well, the R392 meter shows dB over, let's see, over, carrier level, yeah, just carrier level, no RF. So, all I can say is that everybody shows about between 10 to 20 dB over what it shows as noise level. So that's the S reading, and that's enough separation of the signal to copy well. Have no problems whatsoever. Al is a little bit weaker, averaging about 10 to 15 over the noise level. radio a little weaker than the others, but no problems at all. The noise level is not very high anyway, so I don't know. The antenna didn't change. The tower I'm monitoring and the SWR, everything is normal. Exactly 100 watts carrier out, so it must be just conditions. And so everybody sounds good. And all those who went to Xenia, to the big Ham Fest, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I saw some of the photos that Nick published, and looks pretty nice. I wish I had time to go to with a truck to Fair Radio before they had the auction, or even during the auction. Life is just not that time whatever I want. So anyway, with that, it goes to Swift, WB4NKL, and the group WFTU.
FTU, WB4NKL. Good copy all the way around. Signals are pretty decent here today. I guess the only old friend I run into was KZ4B. He was there. He was down there in the horse track. I lucked out a couple of years ago. I got out of the horse track, and I want to say it's one of the best spots at the Ham Fest. It's under a shade tree, on pavement, and it's just perfect for my use. So I'm gonna try to hang on to that forever. Man, the DX100 sounds great. Good signal. And let's see. Try to think some of the highlights from the Ham Fest. At Fire Radio, I picked up a R390 non-IF strip that I was wanting. And I looked at it in November, and he wouldn't come down on the price, but it was still there, and he come down to meet me on my price this go around. So he's still up at Fire Radio, getting his heart right on the deal. He's still got a lot of stuff there. He did. Steve Morrow, a friend of mine, asked him what he would take for the entire stock. Steve a figure of $90,000. So if anybody wants to buy out Fire Radio, $9,000 will do it. But of course it's the new. And that would probably cost 3 times as much as what you paid for the material. At the Ham Fest, the guy from Texas that had all the Rangers and HQ-170s this year, he brought a truckload of heat kit single banders and US-60s. And he was selling those for $20. Buy one, get one free for $20. So, but they were rough. I didn't buy any of that. Buy any DX60s or single banders. But a lot of stuff there. And Mark, W4WWC, went with me. He picked up several items, so we had a pretty good van load on the way home. I'm going to say 73s. We're supposed to go up to my daughter's for dinner, and she said to be there at 7 in Jonesboro, so I've got to get started here. 73s, and try to catch everybody later. I don't guess I'll make the 160 tonight. Probably won't be back in time. Go ahead, Larry. WB4NKM, WB4NKL.
So 73 Steve Cliff, WB4NKL from WB4NKM. Yeah, we could, if we was younger, that'd be a good deal for us. We could probably take a stab at buying them out. Have to come up with the money, though. That's a big issue. Steve, I'm glad you got over that upper respiratory problem, and you sound good. And I hope you get the issues straightened out there. Power, I was still able to copy up here. And I agree with you on them videos. The one that I was watching, the guys were, you could tell they were a little younger than me. They was having problems identifying a duplexer when they came up on it. So it's kind of comical to watch those. But it was kind of rough. Almost gave me a headache watching them. The ART-13s are sounding good here in Virginia today. Buddy, you're sounding good, and also Dave, you're perfect level. The DX100 you're running, Glenn, is excellent. Real fine signal, and when we started talking, you were 40 over here. So the band is playing havoc with us. And Al, good evening to you. The DX60 sounds good up here. Down to you, Glenn. N4AK from WB4NKM.
Okay. WB4NKM, November 4 Alpha Kilo, we're copying you 5455. This is the band condition. And 73 to Cliff, and glad, Cliff, you got to beat Dan, W4 CDJ. I met him when he was in Georgia, and he came down to visit N4UB and swapped some equipment. Mir, I'm having a rough time with you for some reason. It's conditions, and it's probably the distance apart that we are. But he copied U57, and I got the relay. I appreciate you replying, but I didn't have the relay at Newark. But I hadn't put it in yet. I wanted to check everything and see if the voltage was appearing at the where the relay coil was, and I hadn't got that to appear right. So I may have a problem with the bias circuit. So I probably have to see if you make house calls. I could probably use some help. Anyway, let's see. Steve, about your MRI. There's a very weak system that some people are using, a 0.5. In past years, mostly 1.5 are much better. And if you can find a 3 Tesla, some of the hospitals now, the bigger centers, are using up to a 3 Tesla MRI. Buddy might comment on that, but probably the average MRI is probably 1.5 T around now, I would guess. And it's been some years since I was in the business. But Buddy, you might comment on that on the next go around. So let's see here. Hello to Al. It's got Sonia checking in. I just had something pop. I hope I'm still on the air. It might have been lightning. So back to KJ4YEV N4AK.
N4AK in the group. This is KJ4YEV. Thank you guys that gave me the good signal reports. I'm really surprised. Everything is back in the weeds, back in the noise here. I've got a high noise level, but it's just band conditions right now. And I want to say that every muscle in my body is aching and sore. We walked the 20-acre cemetery yesterday. The church I go to is the oldest church in Gaston County. There's a 20-acre cemetery there, and there's soldiers that go all the way back to the Revolutionary War buried there. And we put flags on 456 veterans' graves for Memorial Day. And we spent about all day yesterday doing that, and I'm getting about too old to do something like that. I'm not in as good a shape as I used to be, so I am sore. And Steve, I was just curious, when you had that MRI, did they inject the contrast or that dye that they use? That sometimes helps give them a better picture. So with that, I'm going to say 73 and pass it on back to Steve, N4LQ, KJ4YEV.
Okay, well, 73's there, Al. It's N4LQ. Anybody else want to check in real late? All right, I think I talked down the repeater or something here, but everything is okay, I think, right now. Yeah, Al, they did use contrast. They did the MRI with and without, so they wanted it both ways for some reason. And it was just on the left foot, and it's kind of crazy. I never really agreed with the idea of even doing it, but this neuropathy situation is in the foot, and I had the what do you call it, the nerve conductivity study done on the right one, and I said, that's it, I'll never have that done again. If you want to do the left one, you're going to have to figure out a better way. So this was the alternative, and I don't, they didn't really see much because of the El Cheapo MRI machine. So for $90,000 we can buy Fair Radio. If you guys want to chip in, we can let's see, well, who's got room at their house we can put all that stuff. I looked at the pictures Nick had of Fair Radio, and there's a lot of ham stuff. There's a bunch of HROs and HQ129s and some stuff like that, but not $90,000. That, nope, not for me. You might eventually get back 20 or 30,000, but not $90,000, I don't think. Let's see here. Larry sounds great. I think you got the strongest signal down here in Shelby. You were hitting 10 over 9 on this meter, and the audio from the Ranger is just superb. Glenn, you're sounding okay. Your audio's good, and the DX100's making it okay. You started out stronger than you were now, but of course that'll change around. And I don't know what to tell you on the 500. Before you put the relay in, you can go ahead and fire it up and see if you got your bias voltage. And if you don't, then you got a problem, or if you blow a fuse, you got a problem. That's the least you could do, I guess. And if that voltage is okay, then you should be able to put the relay in. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see. I guess that's about the most exciting. We've had a lot of rain here too. We got about we got a little bit yesterday, about I don't know, half an inch or something. But we've gotten probably 3 inches of rain over the past week or so. So Dave, I didn't know it was raining anywhere. I think you said it was raining up there. Go ahead and take it. WA4LLR, N4LQ.
All right, N4LQ and the group WA4LLR. No, it's not at the moment. Just storm had gone through just before I came down here. My wife just yelled down and said we've got sunshine now and the sky's getting blue, so hopefully the storm is past. And boy, I've got my fingers crossed for tomorrow, because I really need to mow, and I need to work on the water breaks before the next round comes, about Wednesday, I think. So plenty to do, and never a dull moment. I'm going to go ahead and say 73s on this go-round. Steve, thanks for calling it. Glad the band is improving. And Lord willing, we'll see what Tuesday morning holds for us. Oh, man, last Tuesday we were still in the middle of the doldrums from all the solar activity. I think we only had about 4 people. But hopefully we'll do better than that on Tuesday of this week. So 7-3, God bless, and Lord willing, we'll see you then. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Well, Glenn, I would put a resistor in place of the relay. Measure the resistance of the relay you're getting and put a comparable resistor in place of it with enough wattage to cover the power, and then measure your voltage across that resistor and see what you get. I wouldn't subject a good relay to a questionable circuit. And go from there. So, and that's about all I can say with the circuit right now. Well, everybody's signal is coming up a little bit as time goes on. Mirror signal is improving. I was able to listen to his transmission without the headphones, as I was with everybody else, and that's good, Cliff, that you were able to get by Fair Radio and see my buddy Phil. Yeah, that's a good bit of money to pay for that amount of equipment that he's got. He's got a very large place there, and he's got a lot of stuff. So anyway, maybe the auction will clear it out coming up this summer. I don't think I've got anything else going on right now. So I think I'll say 73. Thanks, Steve, for doing the net. And I think your MRI, going with a 1.5 Tesla is about the standard for the MRIs. There are some places that have 3 Tesla. They're really powerful, and you're going to have much better resolution. But 1.5 Tesla is a good rating for an MRI. The one you probably had, you had your first one on, was probably a 1, maybe a little less. But anyway, I hope, conductivity test, I had that done on my hand, and it does hurt. So you're probably better off not doing that on your foot. I wouldn't like to have it done on my foot. And I've got some neuropathy in my feet, so I don't know. We'll let it go. So we'll say 73, and hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday. So WF2U, WB4ARK.
Yeah, Roger, very good. WB4ARK in the net, WF2U. Yeah, excellent. Talk to you and everybody. A little QSB, but no problem whatsoever. And anyway, I'm not going to be on one tonight. I have to do a few things in the house tomorrow. I have a rather busy day. And otherwise, back to working. I have some projects in the shack now that the electrical problem is fixed. I can attack those projects again. and outdoor jobs. I still have some spring jobs, but around the property, but that should be over soon. So I can spend some more time out playing with radios indoors. Anyway, it was good to hear everybody. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to be here Tuesday morning, but if I am going to, if I don't have to go in, I'll be here. Or if I don't get involved with something that I can't interrupt. Anyway, I'll say also 73. Steve, thanks for wanting to connect, and I guess if nothing else, I'll try to be on 160 tomorrow. 73 all. So Cliff, I think, signed. I'll head over to Larry if you're still here, Larry. WB4NKM and the group WFTU. 73 all, but I'll be listening to the end.
Okay, Beer, WF2 from WB4NKM. Well, 7-3s to everybody. And we're going to say 7-3s and get out of here and go get some supper. Enjoyed being in here. Conditions are kind of on the downside, but it'll pick up. Steve, thanks a lot for the good signal report and audio report. You're likewise. You sound great up here. And we got the yard looking at us too, Dave, if you're still listening. Got, I guess we wait and see if it dries up and mow it in between rains like we did last time. But that's what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. 73s, enjoyed it. Down to you, Glenn. N4AK, WB4NKM.
Okay, Larry, WB4NKM, November 4, Alpha Kilo. Stand by 1 minute, I'm going to click my carrier. Yeah, okay. I heard an arc a while ago, and I just wanted to be sure I'm on the air. I don't know what it was. Everything still seemed to be working okay. And I agree with Buddy. The 1.5 is a typical strength you find. And there were a lot of 0.5s early on, and even some strange 1 Teslas. But most of the major hospitals will probably have a 1.5. And I don't know if you had one in a trailer or not. A lot of times they would have one in a trailer and pull around, and they weren't quite as strong. Anyway, it's been nice, and I'll probably be asking for advice as I fiddle along on this Johnson 500. And, Buddy, yeah, you're right. I've already selected a resistor, 10K resistor to put for the coil there. So I've clicked it a couple of times, but the voltage didn't appear there. So anyway, I guess it's an old transmitter. I'm getting to the age where I don't think I want the old transmitters anymore. I'll just buy some new stuff with a 3-year warranty. All right, so Al is checked out of here. It's been nice hearing about it this afternoon, even though the conditions weren't super. There's some slow QSB was on the band. So, but the noise figure was down. That's why I was able to copy everybody. So my noise figure was S3. And a lot of times you click on 75 and it'll be at S9. So I was able to copy everybody except Mir. I wasn't copying you all the time, and I think that was just because we're close together. Steve, thanks for doing the net for us. N4LQ, N4AK.
Okay, this is N4LQ. Well, if you decide you don't want it anymore, just let me know. I'll come and haul it away, Glenn. Yeah, okay, it's been a good net. Thanks everybody for checking in, and hope to see somebody down on 160 tonight. There hadn't been anybody here lately. 73s, good afternoon or good evening. God bless. See you later. This is N4LQ closing the net.
I've got one comment about the fair radio sales. To me, it was junk. I saw a few receivers there, but when somebody tells them that, wait a minute, you had mercury vapor rectifiers, what? And some of the tubes broke, and the mercury's in the ground, and what? You had some transformers that leaked out. You may not want that property if they gave it to you in 4AK.
I don't think it included the building or the grounds, just the junk. Yeah, I looked at it and looked at those pictures, and most of it is leftover stuff. So $90,000, no way. I don't think you'd have to pay me to come and get it. I think N4LQ.
Yeah, you couldn't even pay me to get it, because if they find something in the ground there, I wouldn't buy the property without having a environmental check. When I bought property to do a subdivision, I had an environmental check done because people had dumped garbage in one quarter, and I was lucky. But that's a dangerous thing now. If you're buying commercial property, you probably ought to look for an environmental check. N4AK.
See you later.